In one of our mentorship batches where we teach people about money management, wealth creation, protection of wealth, risk management, wealth preservation and investing, I was talking to our mentees and I mentioned to them that in my belief it is very important to not just learn the tactics and strategies around money and wealth creation, but also to learn the psychology and the spirituality of money and wealth. This is something that confuses people because most people have grown up with the erroneous assumption that wealth creation and money has nothing to do with spirituality. A lot of people have been conditioned through cultural and religious conditioning to believe that the acquisition of money and wealth, in fact, is a non-spiritual pursuit. And that's why a lot of people feel this inner sense of guilt about being commercially minded or about acquiring enough money and wealth. As I was talking to them, I mentioned to them that, if you really want to give yourself the best chance of becoming wealthy, which I believe is an individual's birthright, they need to not just understand the strategies and tactics and the principles of money and wealth, but they also need to understand the spirituality and the energy of wealth. And so today I wanted to take some time to explain to you what I mean when I talk about the spiritual nature of money. Now, one of the main things to understand here is that in order for us to feel comfortable about the acquisition of financial wealth, we need to have an abundance and prosperity mindset, and we need to have an abundance and prosperity energy. And too many people don't have that. So it is possible for a person to gain financial wealth without having an abundance and prosperity mindset and energy. However, if they do end up with a lot of money and wealth and they don't have the right mindset and the right energy, they'll never get to really enjoy it. And we have seen many examples of people who have sacrificed everything to make a lot of money and gain a lot of financial wealth, but they have health problems and they have relationship problems and they really don't have a lot of joy in their life or fulfillment in their life, and they don't have a lot of experience in their life because what they did was they went and acquired money and wealth from the wrong energy. So it is important, first of all, to understand that abundance is a more natural state and scarcity isn't. And the reason I say this is because when you look around in the universe, you study the universe or you look around in nature, you'll find that there is a lot of abundance everywhere. The replenishment that takes place naturally in the universe and nature is an indicative signal to us that that is how we're supposed to live. So when we see people who suffer from an incredible amount of scarcity in their mind, people, when they have this type of disposition, they end up making very small decisions. They're not really living with enthusiasm. They're living in a lot of fear. And so from that place, they end up making a lot of small decisions, and that keep them playing small in the game of life. When we are in an abundance mindset, we actually recognize that abundance and prosperity is natural and scarcity and poverty are completely unnatural. But a lot of people have been convinced or have convinced themselves that scarcity and poverty is natural and abundance and prosperity is unnatural. So they've actually got it completely confused. It is important that you understand what abundance energy means. And I'm going to give you some strategies that are going to assist you in developing that abundance energy. So when I was talking to a mentorship batch, one of the things that I suggested to them is to go out somewhere which is beautiful, elegant, and opulent, and allow themselves to immerse themselves in that type of environment. This is really important. There is beauty everywhere, but a lot of us feel like we are not worthy of beauty. So we end up putting ourselves in spaces that are simply neglected. And so every time we're in a nice hotel or a beautiful restaurant, or we go into a beautiful park, what we end up doing is we allow ourselves to immerse, to have an immersive experience by being around beauty and elegance. The other good thing about that is that we are appreciating and recognizing what other people have created. So for example, if you go into a nice hotel and you look at the fit out of the lobby, you see that there is beautiful furniture. You see that they've done a lot of detailed work on the ceilings, or there is immaculate wallpaper, or there are beautifully elegant light fittings. What you're actually, in a way, you're also doing is you're appreciating the labor that other people have put in to create that beauty and elegance for the benefit of other people. I really strongly believe that by continually putting yourselves in those environments, you're sending a subliminal signal to your mind that that's what you deserve, that you understand that that's what you want to be around. And the more you do that, the more your subconscious mind starts to understand that that is what you desire, that is what you are conditioned to do. And so what it does is it automatically gets you to become highly alert to opportunities which bring in more abundance and beauty into your life. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to go and spend a lot of money. If you're somebody who is struggling financially, I'm not suggesting that you go and become irresponsible and you go to an expensive hotel and you go and spend a lot of money. You don't have to. The good thing is there is beauty even in parks. You can go into a hotel lobby occasionally and just order yourself a coffee or a tea or a little sandwich. But you can go into museums, you can go into art galleries. But by immersing yourself in those types of experiences, you're allowing the energy of beauty to start to marinate into your own spirit. And I think that's an important thing, because a lot of people don't allow themselves that experience. They're constantly in areas that are neglected, that are ugly, that are worn down, and so they're not really allowing themselves to have that experience. The second thing that I suggest you also do is that you declutter, and that basically means anything that is not highly functional and doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. So whether you look into your office space or you look into your home, anything that is not highly functional and is not bringing you joy and fulfillment, get rid of it. Don't hoard objects and products, because again, when you do that, you are sending a subliminal message to your own subconscious mind that, look, there isn't enough. I don't think I'm going to get this thing again. That's why I feel the need to hang on to it. Every action that we're engaging in is sending some sort of a subconscious signal to our own mind that that's the way we think. So we have to be really cautious, because think about the person who is happy to declutter. If you give things away that are neither highly functional nor bringing you joy to somebody else may get functionality or joy out of those things. But also, you are essentially sending a message to yourself that I believe that there is more going to be coming into my life. And that's why I don't feel the need to hoard onto products and objects. A lot of people in the older generations who grew up in the Industrial Revolution and experienced firsthand or secondhand the effects of world wars, they have that mentality, and you'll see a lot of them simply find it very difficult to get rid of things, even if it's for example, if it's a radio device that's not working, or it's an old clock that's not working, even if it's not bringing them any beauty, if it doesn't bring them any joy, it has no functionality, they still store those things. They can't get rid of those things because they grew up in that era where there was scarcity, and so they are traumatized by that scarcity, and they still carry that scarcity in their mind, which prevents them from being able to get rid of clutter, and so they end up surrounding themselves with clutter. And the other problem with that is when your house and your space is surrounded with clutter, you're not really making space for new energy and new objects to come into your life. The third way that you can develop this abundant and prosperity energy is by giving. Think about the mindset of a person who is giving. When you give generously, or you're giving a percentage of what you earn, or you are donating, or you are engaged in giving up your resources, your time, or your money, again, what you're doing is you're sending a subliminal message to your own subconscious mind that I have so much that I can give. When we don't give, we are doing the opposite. We're sending a message to our mind that, hey, I don't have enough, so I can't be giving right now. And so that scarcity disposition results in us becoming quite fearful, and then we lose our enthusiasm for life. Think about a person who has a lot of scarcity in their mind. How would they appear in a job interview? Are they really going to go for their ultimate goals, or are they going to settle? Think about the disposition of somebody who is in scarcity in regards to setting big goals. Are they really going to set big goals, or are they going to set small goals because they have this energy disposition that believes that there is simply not enough in the world? You have to recognize that there is an infinite supply of opportunities of abundance, of prosperity in our universe and in our world. We don't need to waste it. That's not the message of this video. It's not about consumption for the sake of consumption, but it's about understanding and realizing that there is more than enough. I am a very strong believer that it is absolutely fine for us to have more abundance and prosperity, provided we are producing more than we're consuming. So there is no limit to how much you can consume as long as you're producing, you're putting back into the world more than you're taking out of it. And again, that's a mindset thing. A lot of people don't think that they can produce anything. A lot of people have convinced themselves that they need to settle for what other people give them. So when we start to develop that abundance and prosperity energy signature and that psychology of abundance and prosperity, we start to behave differently. We start to see opportunities where we perhaps in the past saw limitations. And we start to make bold moves with enthusiasm rather than making small moves with fear. And that's why it is important to understand that money and wealth is transferred from those people who live in scarcity to those who believe in abundance.